Hey, so it was super bummer. Went ahead and ran the twinning and the academia dungeons with Apex and Matt, and recorded all of it. Great blind reactions. OBS did not capture my voice for some reason, even though it was coming through on Discord fine. I just did a test. It looks like it's working okay. I have seen the twinning now once. Super cool. I will try to reproduce our blind response to its content as best as possible.
Yeah, I don't see why having Marstead's voice is critical to the...
Yeah, right. You could have just had you guys like wondering what you were responding to.
I have run this a couple times with Tyrandos since we did it, and I know where people mess up. Now I can talk about that.
That's cool.
Well, I've only done this once, so I'll probably be the one messing up.
Well, a couple of these get pretty tough for the healer if
people aren't doing mechanics right.
Yeah.
As far as the lore stuff, the twinning is like basically this is future Ironworks, so not future Sid, but like future descendant of Biggs and Wedge or something. Send the Crystal Exarch back in time and to the first, right? They do both. So they need to use dimensional travel, so they use the technology they got from Omega, and they need to use time travel, so they use the technology they got from Alexander. Is that right?
Yeah, sounds right to me.
Something like this.
That's pretty much the lore. Which is very
actually,
cool.
since recording it last time, I read some of the live letter, and one of the questions was, have you guys planned this the whole time? And they said, nope. I'm like, that's super impressive, because if all they did is say, hey, we did this Alexander thing, and we did this Omega thing, let's make it relevant.
That is good. They've gone to a really good job of making a lot of this post-game content relevant to the main story quest and not just an isolated island. I'm a big fan. Yeah,
Omega definitely felt like something that was indulgent. I enjoyed it when it was going on. I'm like, this is just an excuse to get Kafka in the game, and I'm fine with that. But actually going back and making it relevant is quite clever on their part. And this theme is pretty great. I like having all the mixes and recaps of old Omega and Alexander music. Yeah, I guess you know about the cages busting open because that one's already busted. And then there's one up ahead that I think busts.
I didn't realize that the first time through.
That's supposed to be their conveyance, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually catching up on summoner job quests, and some of them happened to take you to Mordona, and I just happened to pick up a random quest complete in that area, and I think it's the one you get after you finish the Crystal Tower. Mm-hmm. Basically, you talk to the same guy for summoner stuff. Crystal Tower.
The Crystal Exarch.
So I got to see like the final Crystal Tower quest, which definitely has Grahatia as like not an old kind of busted looking guy without the hood, and he's like, I'm gonna close this tower because I have to study something or other, and you guys should all get out. And like Sid is there and Biggs and Wedge, and they're all like, all right, we'll see you later, good luck.
Nice. This is such a cool story. I feel the same as Matt, where I want to go back and play through it again now that I give a shit. It just took him a long time to get me to give a shit.
Well, that's what he's been telling me as he's going through like the work and stuff, and I mean, they dropped hints to. He says every expansion, the dragons, the Kogane stuff, and definitely the Asian details in like the first 10 or 15 quests. But like some of the boring ass ones, it was some of the ones where there's no way you're paying attention to it.
No, I like. I'm extremely invested in the Asians, and I remember we were joking, calling them the Assmen and saying, why do we care about these guys, or these black robe dudes with masks? I don't really understand what their motivation is. I didn't even know that their names were Final Fantasy Classic from like weird, obscure FF12 Revenant Wings lore. We were talking about that last time in the Blind Dungeon, that all the Ascians are like the light versions of the, what was the name of the, I guess they were Espers in 12. I'm trying to remember what they were called in Tactics. Anyway, all those names, even like Emmett Selk and La Habrea, Nabrialis, those are all like existing Final Fantasy lore. They're not making that shit up as they go, like I thought they were.
So when he does his sword swipe here, that will break the bubble. You just don't be between a bubble and him. And then the jump he does in a second does it too.
Because he puts like a line past you that could hit the bubbles, right?
Yeah, that's the line bubble break. In a second, he'll do the AoE targeted bubble break, which is a green circle around you.
And this one's, I imagine this is really hard if you get ads for the healer, right?
Yeah, well, they tend to. I'm not sure if they jump on. I don't know. I broke one with the line thing the second time I did this, and then two of them just like one-shot me. So I think they just jump on who breaks it. If it's the healer, it's GG.
I thought I picked him up whenever I fought, but maybe not. 2 was for sure GG.
Oh shit. Oh right, we kind of have to move, right?
Yeah, you just got to get him in a good position after these two.
Okay, I'll pull him back to the opposite wall. It should be fine.
That's some next level tanking right there.
Opposite
I've
wall.
never done this fight before.
Put him in south, not north.
We did wipe on this one when we did it blind because of the
we didn't get the bubble thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We wiped in Academia too. I'll explain why when we get there. Oof. I think the thing that's been probably most impressive to me about Shadowbringers, it's had some like old school Final Fantasy nostalgia. And I was talking about the whole Red Letter Media, now I'm cynical because whenever people try to add stuff that's based on things you recognize, that's sort of lame, right? Like, oh, it's Star Trek and now it's got 7 of 9. I recognize her. But I say that, but I'm a complete hypocrite because whenever Final Fantasy XIV does it, I like wet my pants. If you go fight Hades in an underwater dungeon, I'm super pumped.
Well, it's how many layers of abstraction you put on top of it. Like if you're like in Star Wars, they're just doing it to make money, and it's obvious.
Yeah.
So that seems shitty. In Star Trek, they might be doing it to make money, and so you reserve judgment, right? But here, I feel like it's a labor. They're doing it because they love the games too, and wouldn't it be neat if we introduced them in this way?
I think that's a good way to put it. They love the games too, and then they find a way to incorporate it that's like it hits the same notes as the old games, but isn't directly aping it.
Yeah.
I think I agree with our rando that this track is really awesome.
Well, it reminds me I need to get Rocksmith up and running again. That's also a very cool game.
I need to learn Rocksmith better. I own it, but I'm super bad at it.
Same, yeah, I'm the same way. I always said that whenever I really get into the guitar playing hobby again, that I'll pick it up because it
Seems like
works
it's a good
really
way to
well.
do it.
Yeah. It's just I'm realist about learning an instrument. I realize that's not just a 30-hour hobby. That's a 530-hour hobby.
Right.
Trying to wait for the right time in life. But Rocksmith will be the path to getting it quicker.
I mean, Rock Band taught me how to play drums because once you have a pro set, it's 1-to-1. I can play drums because of Rock Band. You can't learn a guitar from Rock Band, but
One day.
That is not 1-to-1.
You can learn a keytar, maybe.
Yeah.
No. That's simplifying a keytar, but point taken.
I think when they did keyboard in Rock Band 3, that was 1-to-1 if you played it on Pro Mode. I think you only had like an octave and a half or something, but it was still pretty close.
See, that sounds interesting to me. Maybe I... Well...
That's worth grabbing.
Like, can I go get Rocksmith 3 for any relevant system these days?
I think so. Rock Band 3 and a
yeah.
Keyboard controller. I think it just uses a MIDI input. So if you've got any sort of MIDI out keyboard, you can plug it in and do it with Rock Band 3. No, they got rid of keyboard in 4, which is kind of a bummer, but there is a good section of songs that you could learn. Usually I groan a little bit at like late add time travel, but it's very Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy 1 has time travel, doesn't it? So does 8.
Oh, yeah.
It was kind of fun as a gimmick in Alexander, but the way they incorporated it into the story with this like future Trunks character is pretty cool. One of these guys has a interruptible thing. I'll get the 1. You wouldn't mind getting the 2 when it uses it.
The Berserk?
Yeah, Berserk.
I think I was a little late. Maybe I hit it. No, I got it.
Yeah. I'll ask if this person wants to run academia after.
I think I may have to go before that, unfortunately.
Oh, okay, no worries. If I just upload this one, that's not the end of the world.
Yeah. You guys can go ahead and rerun that too if you want. Without me. Easy.
We could expert relate it if you want.
Yeah, I hope we get it. Do you guys have any free weekday evenings this week?
I think Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are okay.
That's the same for me.
Probably out Monday, but the other ones will be fine.
So maybe try Tuesday night, see what Matt is capable of. This is the FF13 enemy, right?
Yeah. This is the, it's an enemy that you fight from time to time in 13, but it is also the super boss.
Oh, interesting. We want to eat these balls, right?
No,
or no, that's a later fight. That's somebody else. Do not eat the balls. Get away from the balls.
Away from the balls. This one does he puts the crosshatch on the floor now, and
and then he combos it with the orbs later on.
Yeah, and the target AoE.
Thunderbeam is your tank buster. I don't think he has a straight raid damage. I guess this is kind of that.
Nice.
I had to stand on top of our fellow friend, so I, as forgiveness, gave him a shield.
Yeah, I think if you don't go to the very edge, you have to end up doing that. But that's like the least of the damage is happening there, so it's totally.
Gotcha.
Had to. He's on the same page.
Hey, so I don't remember the original Crystal Tower quest back in Realm Reborn, but did it say stuff about there being, like, time flowing differently in there, or there being timey-wimey shenanigans?
Let's see. So there was, I think, because there was Una and Doga, were they leftover relics from the Allagan realm?
Oh, maybe. If
So
they really pantsed the whole thing, if they came up with it and that was like, okay, we're going to get Capitia because he's the only character who's met the Warrior of Light that's in a position to still be alive in several hundred years or something, like...
Yeah, they had definitely been hanging around. As clones or something.
Right. I just like the idea that the plot kind of was flowing naturally from the setup that they put together up to that point. They were like, okay, who should this character be? They're not trying to force something, they're doing it in the other direction.
Oh shit, yeah, I got them caster ring earrings.
Nice. Do you still need any more caster pieces? I won't create them.
That might have been about it.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it's a nice little story beat with Garhatia, and they give you just enough information about him and Emmett Selk at that point in the story, and just enough things to make you question both of them and their motivations.
Yeah, right.
They're both together for natural reasons, but you're like, who's to trust? It works really as a nice little mystery that then eventually solves one way.
I just like that it's so top down. I feel like Final Fantasy, even the good Final Fantasies, are usually pretty written bottom up. It's like, let's focus on the characters first, and then let's figure where the story goes after that. Maybe not Final Fantasy X. Final Fantasy X has a pretty clear, like, let's start with this setting and then see how things are going to respond in the setting, right? But it's like the opposite of WoW right now, which is very much bottom up. At least I think that it's, okay, we want Sylvanas to be the bad guy. How do we force Sylvanas to be the bad guy instead of making that happen naturally through the setting and the lore that's been established so far? I don't think one way is right or wrong. Like, I've certainly enjoyed a lot of stories that are like Mass Effect 2 is very bottom up. Let's establish the characters and then the kind of plot will flow from there.
Well, that's a famous Stephen King way to write too. Is sometimes that gets you into trouble, and that's why I use Stephen King as an example. Is 9 times out of 10 work from the characters first, and let the plot flow along afterward, and that works for a better story. But Stephen King sometimes can't end his story because he doesn't know where he was going in the first place. So he just is flowing with what seems natural too much. So there's definitely craft to both methods. Which isn't to rag on Stephen King too much.
No, it's totally with you.
I like Stephen King a lot.
Well, that's where Gurm is trapped. He has a basic outline of the big events, but then he kind of gets from scene to scene by asking what would these characters do. And that's why he's stuck, apparently.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to be able to hand-wave a lot of that with a time skip, and then the time skip wasn't interesting to write about.
Some guy at work was saying that there's some sort of promise to have it out by next year. Some random YouTube video. I don't know. He's kind of low information GRM fan, but I don't know how to speculate it.
There was the one where the actor playing Barristan, said that he secretly had all the books finished and was waiting for the show to end. He got really pissed about that.
Yeah, that's... I don't understand why you would say that in public,
right?
given you know enough about the situation to know that will get you attention.
Right. I assume he's just trolling.
He must have been.
Yeah, right. That would have been pretty wild, though.
Yeah.
Matt's not here to enjoy the praise, but like after Apex and his lady friend got me into Patrick Rothfuss at PAX, we got back and we were telling Matt, hey, you got to read these Kingkiller books. And he's like, there's no way. I'm not getting into another book series that isn't finished. We're like, no, this one's different. He's got a manuscript ready. It'll be out any day. It's shit.
I bought him those ended up buying it for Christmas, the first 2 books. So he read them out of obligation because it was a gift. And then he bitched at me all. He still does.
Yeah.
So that's a really fun room if people pull the whole thing at the same time.
Oh, geez.
Because with 3 of them, it's almost impossible to line up their AoEs to get a safe spot. So basically, the tank's just taking damage.
Alright, before we pull this thing, this room is fucking radical. I love all the little like snippets of what's going on in the first and how they put this all together. And I also super dig Ironworks Alexander. Like, they are getting value from these models. I think that was the biggest thing we were talking about that was lost in the commentary and the recordings that were bugged. We were just talking about how they have all these really cool models in Final Fantasy 14, and that one of the most expensive things. Oh, don't stand in what?
When the blue beams come out, they'll stand.
Oh yeah. The most expensive thing in like these 3D games is just getting the model and the animation rigs together. And once you have that, if you can do cool textures on them, you can do some really creative stuff.
Yeah.
Three stacks.
Yeah, they're kind of dumb. They do that little. Okay, then don't get away from the black bits. The beams do they do like a little truncated beam, and if you touch that, you get explode the whole raid. But a little bit later, they're gonna turn into a line beam. So you kind of have to. It's weird. You have to know, and they could be on the other side of the boss, which means you can't see them. And there's some that come out from him, and some that come out from the walls.
It's like a laser shooting something and they're getting time stopped, and then they're releasing later.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's bad. I think the purple blows up before the black, or I guess I was just standing in a place where I couldn't get out of it.
I think that there's certain patterns that are impossible to dodge, like for half of the room. Not impossible, but
very, very.
If you're just in the wrong spot as the tank, and you don't know it before it happens. Like it's not a thing you can predict.
Maybe I should.
I ran it like 3 times. Well, where you are is going to be really important in a second. Oh God.
Oh, did I just kill you? My bad.
Yeah, he can't run through them.
My bad.
Once they're up.
I thought I could run through them.
No, it's heinous damage. Like one of them is crazy. And that was an unlucky spot.
Yeah, so like they get shot out and then they're in danger because their time stopped, so they're doing their damage the whole time they're out, and then the time stop ends and it shoots at you, and that also sucks. I think that's right.
Yeah, we got to run the Crystal Tower stuff again just to. I guess maybe we can't see the quests again, but maybe it'll be in the cutscenes.
Mm-hmm. I think this hallway looks like Alexander, and then the other area looked like Coil, which I thought they were doing a Coil thing. I totally want to run. Either watch the cutscenes in the inn at least, or maybe if they let you redo some of that with Big Game Plus. It wasn't main story quest, which is kind of wild that they like made an entire expansion that was dependent on an optional side quest in an earlier.
Yeah. I don't regret being a Lalafell. Just preface. But I do regret not being able to make cool cosplay like old Flarewing does.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool looking.
Never looks good on the Lalafell.
Is there some reason he thought of Addams Family references? I don't know. We got a rando here.
They're fun.
Yeah, we picked a good rando.
We just watched through those movies recently, Andrea. Haven't seen them in a long time. They basically could never adapt Addams Family ever again because Raul Julia and Christina Ricci were perfect in their roles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they're gonna do it though.
Oh yeah.
Matthew McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey as Gomez.
He's Gomez.
I wish I could do a Matthew McConaughey impersonation because I can hear that in my brain.
All right, Morticia.
I basically work with a bunch of Matthew McConaughey's accent-wise.
Yeah.
Go for lasers.
The wall.
Fire in my laser.
They introduced a cool idea in this expansion of using primals as tools for other things, like using Bismarck to go places, so I wonder if they're going to build on that more, instead of them just being bosses.
I support riding whales.
Yeah,
Flying
I know,
whale.
right? Just gotta ride it to the moon now.
Yeah. Flying Whales is now not just a good metal song. Also.
Oh yeah, I think those are randomly spaced. This time I'm fine. Last time was Bad News Bears. He does have a raid damage attack, doesn't he? I forget what it's called.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Is it defensive array? No.
No.
What if they make a boss and his tank buster is called Tank Buster and his raid damage is called raid damage?
I feel like they could do that, right? They have the...
Yeah.
They'll get lasered. Look out.
Oh god. And he's gonna do the... Ouch.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. Which one hit me?
Tank Buster. Now he shits down.
Gotcha.
Thanks.
Extra region.
Thank you. God, don't stand in him. Now he spawns the extra ones, I see.
He's gonna target us all with a bullshit.
Tank Buster.
Oh god!
Super Bowl-eyed. I'm gonna be safe. Nice.
Woot!
Let me get some Phantasmagoria. Cool. Really like the twinning, really like the lore of the twinning, like the music, like the fights. This is one of the coolest dungeons they've done. They're just getting better and better at this.
Absolutely.